Scott, we have confirmed through multiple sources that Boeing is, in fact, targeting a recertification flight or flights for the 737 MAX by the end of the month. So that means Boeing has less than 3 weeks for this to happen, if, in fact, it does make it before the end of the month. We have reached out to Boeing for a comment. The company says it is not saying anything officially regarding these reports or what we've learned through sources. We have also reached out to the FAA. It says that the FAA is in regular contact with Boeing as the company continues its work on the 737 MAX. The manufacturer must demonstrate compliance with all certification standards. The aircraft will be cleared for return to passenger service only after the FAA is satisfied with all safety-related issues. By the way, that's a pretty standard statement. We've heard that in the past from the FAA. So officially, it is not commenting on a potential timing for a certification flight or recertification flight. Just so you know how this works, Scott, Boeing has drawn up flight plans. It would then use those flight plans in the recertification flight, which I'm told may not just be one, it may be a couple of them over a day or two. And the pilot is an FAA test pilot. It is not a Boeing test pilot. A Boeing test pilot is in the co-pilot seat. And they essentially draw up plans saying, we're going to test this plane in a number of scenarios to make sure that the upgraded software for the flight controls of the 737 MAX can handle a number of different scenarios. So again, what we are told is that Boeing is targeting doing a recertification flight or flights by the end of the month. Scott, back to you.
Phil, while I have you quickly, nobody knows this business, this industry better than you. Right? Nobody knows what these companies are going through better than you because you've been speaking to a lot of the CEOs. When you look at the stock gains in Boeing, up 50% in the past month, or American up 60 in the past month, or Delta up 34, or United up 55, or Southwest up 31, what do you think?
Two different things. One, when you look at Boeing, keep in mind that it has a backlog. Even though the backlog has come down, its backlog is 4,744 planes. This is a company that's not going away. It has secured enough financing so that it can ride out this storm. So I understand the investors looking at shares of Boeing and saying, look, eventually its business will come back. Let's move it higher. Whether or not it should have moved as much as it has over the last 3 weeks, that's a separate question. When you look at the airlines, that one's more baffling because people are saying, well, look, more people are flying. And today we got upgraded guidance from American saying that its daily cash burn is going to be lower by the end of June than it previously expected.
To 40 million to 40 million instead of 50 million.
Versus 50. That said, Scott, people are they're taking these little pieces of good news in terms of more people flying, and they're immediately extrapolating or pushing these stocks higher, saying, well, they're going back to where they were pre-coronavirus. That's not happening. There's not a single person in the airline industry who expects these companies to be back to the same levels of passengers that they were pre-coronavirus, at least until 2022, late 2022, if not 23 or 24. There's nobody at all who believes that. So when you see these stocks moving the way they have, you have to sit there and say, okay, are investors truly thinking this through?